Welcome to the WorshipCast. My name is Franklin.
And I'm Matt, and today we're going to talk about burnout.
All right, so we're talking about burnout. Burnout in ministries, burnout in jobs, burnout, pretty much everything that you do. Have you ever experienced that, Matt?
No.
Oh, well, sadly I have.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'd call it burnout, but one time last year, Franklin took a little hiatus from the worship band.
I had to. God was calling me to. It was a lot. I took a lot on myself, and it was time for something to not be there for a little bit.
Franklin's a yes man. If you ask him to do it, he'll be there. He's the most dependable person I know.
And that's sometimes bad.
So Franklin, I'm gonna let you go with this one. Just kind of explain what was going on and some of that kind of stuff, because out there, you guys that are watching, some of you guys may be struggling with some things. Some of the week to week and some of the stresses and sometimes it's time to step away for a minute. So
Yeah. I wasn't depressed or anything. I didn't have anxiety, but I was stressed. So stressed. It was weighing in. I was like, oh man, I've got this to do. I got a full-time job. I got all the church duties I have to do, but then I'm also playing with the band on top of the youth. I was like, but then with the church duties, what I mean is I'm also the part-time media director there. So it was something new. I was like, okay, I've been put over this position. And so I had to get everything prepared, but then I couldn't set everything in a sense, like get people trained up and
we've tried. It's hard to get Franklin both at the soundboard and the keyboard at the same time. We've attempted and it didn't go well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so it was a lot. So it was like, okay, I love playing keys, but I've been playing keys for over, let's see, what am I? Yeah, I've been playing keys since I was for 13 years.
Yeah.
So
and with us for a long time, with very few Sundays out.
Yeah. So
except for the time he went to the Star Wars convention, but we won't go there. On Easter.
Hey, it was with Studio Lucas, okay? It was a good time.
Oh, okay, so you both defected. Cool.
But we're not going to say anything because, let's see, I believe this is the episode that is coming out during the week of.
Yeah, where he'll be at another one.
Oh, yeah, we're going to another one. Shh. But it's not during Easter. It's not during Easter this year.
But anyway.
But it was a lot. It was a lot going on. I was like, I am getting tired. And I was like praying to God. I was like, something's got to go for a little bit. And it kind of ended on a high note, though, because the last time I really played with you guys, or for that, right before summer hit.
For that season, yeah.
For that season, was we had a worship night. Or night of worship.
Oh, it was so... Oh.
Mm-hmm. So we hit it hard. Like, we ended on a high note, and it was great. And then I was like, hey, Eric, I got to talk to you. And Eric was like, yeah, you do what you got to do. I was like, okay. So...
And I don't remember exactly how long did you not play. It was 2 months, wasn't it?
2 months. I took off June and July, so the whole summer. I was busy doing other stuff. I was still busy overseeing the media side.
He was at the church.
I was at the church
all the time.
Yeah. So, but it was like a burden had been lifted, like a stress. Okay, crap. I got to do this. I got to be here. I got to do this. I got to do this. Not saying that that's not bad either, but I get to do those things. But sometimes, when you do it for so long, after a little bit, it becomes more of a routine sometimes, and that can be a bad thing too. So, I was like, okay, I was doing this. So when I took time away from playing, I was still doing other stuff, but it gave me time to actually think and breathe during a Sunday morning where I could still worship, and I could still praise with the guys on the stage, on the platform that God's given them. It was beautiful seeing that, because that was the longest break I've taken playing. 2 months I didn't play with them. That was a journey.
He got to critique my piano playing.
You're a good pianist. You're a good pianist, Matt.
Whatever.
But it was a journey, and sometimes you go through it. I mean, if you're going through it right now, take time, pray, and just see where God leads you. Sometimes you just need to. May not be music. Maybe something else. Something in your life that's bombarding you, and you may just need to cut something off. And it's okay. It's okay to take that time away. The stresses of this life, it's a lot. I mean, having a full-time job. Right now, I'm a single guy, and last year I was a single guy. I didn't have to worry too much about family per se. But man, it's still tough. Like, you get burned out so fast. Yeah.
So overall, during that time out, like you said, you never stopped worshiping.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that you had time to spiritually grow closer to God before you stepped back in with the band? I mean, did you learn some other things through it?
Oh, I did. Yeah. It was, sometimes it's needed. To me, I felt like that was a learning experience. Sometimes you just need to take a step back. To me, that was a great learning experience. Just get away from everything that you're used to, because, hey guys, I'm here. I'm not playing with you guys. Don't hate me. But it was a great time, because it was me just being able to worship through another form. So spiritually growing in that direction, in another way, and showing, and in a sense also discipling those who I'm over, and saying, hey, this is your ministry. This is something that you can do and utilize, and this is something you can grow spiritually in, indicating this is your form of worship. So do the best you can do. And I was overseeing that. And, 2 months, I felt like it was perfect timing. Sometimes you just need to do it, and it's okay. I felt like God was leading me to do it. Not anytime this year. I mean, this year is just, it's been going real good this year. But last year I played nonstop. As soon as I picked up the keys, it was like, oh, you play keys. Sad thing is that there's not a lot of keyboard players. So when you play keys, oh, you're playing keys, all right.
You're the guy. It's like being the guy that owns a PA set. It's a dangerous place to be.
Yeah. Yes. So it's kind of like, you're playing keys. Okay, cool. Sometimes you just need a break. So
sometimes you got to say no.
Sometimes you got to say no. And so that's kind of where God led me to, though. Like, said, no, okay, you just need to step away for a minute and just grow in something different and something new. And then it's okay to step back. So
from the other side of the fence, when he first told us, that he was still going to be in the church, concentrate on other things. The band was, we were as supportive as we could be. Like, wherever he felt like he needed to be the most, we wanted to help with that. So for a few weeks we were without keys and pads. Unless I stepped over and played them. Mm-hmm. And there's some songs that are so piano heavy that I was able to fill in and help. But on the other side, I was, I dialed up the reverb a little bit and stuff in order to feel kind of that pad territory. Because when this guy's not there, we miss him. It's not the same. And so from that perspective, we missed him and we wanted him there, but we realized and understood that there was something bigger going on. And so from that perspective, we learned as a band, a little bit more about how to come together, how to fill parts. Me as a guitarist, I learned that, what to do or different ways to play things to try and fill a void but still be appropriate. And so there's a lot of learning and a lot of things that come from your absence that were good. Mm-hmm. But I think the biggest thing was that we realized that sometimes when that happens, when you feel, like it's time to drop something, sometimes that's God calling. He needs you somewhere else for a reason, particularly, and you can't not listen to what God's telling you to do. Mm-hmm. So it was one of those things where the whole time, if God was calling you to do that, we weren't standing in the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
it was a hard decision. It was hard. Like, oh man, in small group, I think I talked about it for like 3-4 months. Really, it was like, I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. Like, I think God's really calling me to do this. And I was like super scared to say it. It was like, but when I said it, it was like a burden had been lifted. A burden that was on my shoulders that I feel like, honestly, that Satan was using. And he can use that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He will use the good things in your life to weight you down.
Yeah. And it was like a burden had been lifted, because the thing is that I told my brothers and sisters, and then they could bear the weight of it as well and say, okay, hey, what can we do? And that was exactly what Matt did. Like, in the small group, it was like, hey, that's okay, do what you need to do, we'll be okay. And so I was like, okay, that makes me feel better. And so I was like, again, I am a yes man. I was like, yeah, let's do this. Yeah, let's do this. So like, every single time, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, we're playing here. I'm like, yeah, let's go. And it's like, that sometimes it's not good. So sometimes I personally need to say no sometimes. But, in this aspect, for church, particularly Sundays, that was a time where I felt like I could utilize that time to be with another group, to be able to disciple them, to show them, hey, I'm here, whatever you need, I'm here. And that was a way to worship still. And then it was beautiful seeing these guys worship. And so, I don't know, it was, overall, everything just came in a great big circle, and it was just like beautiful to be able to worship. That's the thing. Like, I'm still worshiping. I'm still able to worship with these guys, and they're able to worship, seeing and knowing that I'm there, being over that, the other side. And I don't know, it was a relief. And then when I came back, it was just as though nothing had changed, and we continued going on playing, and it was great.
It was like coming home for a couple of weeks. It was really nice.
Yeah.
And you have to make sure that being on the other part of the team, if somebody needs to do that, you need to support them as much as possible. Mm-hmm. You need to be in a place where your band, you can get together and you can carry that and make that happen until that person's, ready to come back. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple things that I want to talk about kind of around that. There's other reasons for burnout. Some of them are bad reasons. Some of them are like internal things that you need to deal with.
Yep.
I've seen people get burnt out because of like an ego thing, where now they feel like, all of a sudden it's kind of become about them, and they're not getting that response that feeds the ego, so they feel like, well, this is worthless. That's a check your heart moment.
Yes.
I've seen people get bored of the music. it's one of those things where, you're not necessarily picking the songs. Maybe you're not getting to play the ones that you like with the cool guitar parts that you like the most. Mm-hmm. It's a heart thing. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of reasons for burnout. And if you're feeling that way, double check yourself. Mm-hmm. Make sure that you're where you need to be. And make sure that you're not burnt out on God. Mm-hmm. And that one may hurt. You never need to get to a place to where you are burnt out on church or burnt out on God. But it can happen. And you've got to realize that you've got to get to a point where, God says He'll give you rest. He is your rest. He's where you go. He should be where you go to get away when you are burnt out.
Yep. He says, "Come to me, all who are weary.
Oh yeah,
and I will give you rest."
And that's something that I personally have struggled with lately. Is finding rest in God. There's a lot of times where a lot of things in my life are so crazy, and so I find my rest in watching a YouTube series, or sometimes try and find my rest in music. These things are fleeting, and they will not satisfy your need for rest as much as, or really at all, compared to what God can do for you. Mm-hmm. And the other thing that you said that I thought was very important is that he found ways to worship with the band, even when he wasn't playing, and through other outlets, through other medias. Mm-hmm. If you find that as a guitarist or as a keyboardist or as a musician on stage, that's how you worship and worship best, that's awesome. And it's true. But if you step back from that, if you go to somewhere else and you can't worship because you're like, I want to play with these guys, you're somewhere else with this music and you can't worship, that's another heart problem. It's not the only way you can worship. It may be the best way you know how, but you need to make sure that that's not the only way you can.
Yep.
Because in that case, it may also be partially about the music.
Yep.
And you can't be there.
Nope, that's a big no-no.
Yeah, as much as your spirit and your drive and your passion wants you to be there, you can't do that. You can't serve two masters. You can't do it.
Nope.
So you may think that playing music's the only way you can worship. It's not. If you're in a burnout state, step back, join the congregation, and worship that way.
Worship as much as you can, and if you're struggling, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay. Sometimes it's hard to say, "Here, God, here I am," but sometimes, and maybe easier even to just say, "Hey, pastor," or one that you may be really close to, someone. Maybe if you're in a small group, or maybe your worship pastor. Say, "Hey, I'm struggling here, and I'm burned out." And hey, maybe they may be of counsel, be able to counsel you and direct you where you need to go. It's okay. We're here as brothers and sisters in Christ. We want you to grow. We don't want to be stumbling blocks. And these guys were never stumbling blocks for me, and I'm grateful for that. But sometimes it's okay to ask for help.
And that's the thing, is that it's not going to be perfect. There's a lot of this kind of thing going around, and maybe we should start down a theology road, but here we go. Get ready. It's not going to be perfect. You don't get saved and instantly everything's different and everything's changed. There's a process, so you're not going to be perfect. There's going to be times where you may be prayed up and ready to go, you're and worship leader, and some things happen, and you start to get dragged down. It happens to all of us. You're not expected to be 100% all the time, because life is difficult, and there's an enemy working against you. And like he said, we're not meant to do this alone. We're supposed to help each other. If you've got things that are happening in your life, get help from a brother. The Bible says strengthen your brothers.
Yep.
If we were meant to do this alone, everybody would read their Bibles at home by themselves and nobody else. But we come together as a church, and there's a reason for that.
Yep.
We're not meant to do this alone.
Nope.
So if you're getting burnt out, realize that it's not going to be perfect all the time. Get some help and encouragement from your brothers, because we will help.
Yep.
We understand because we all go through those same struggles together.
Yep. Exactly. That was a tough one. But hey, it was needed, you know. If you guys have any questions, concerns, comments, definitely put them down below. If you guys are burned out, comment down below and just say, hey, this is what we're going through. This is what I'm going through. Let us know. We want to be there. We're brothers and sisters in Christ. We want to talk.
Yeah, we'll talk to you. We'll pray with you.
Yeah.
We'll do whatever we can to help you through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that's what the WorshipCast is about.
Oh, yeah. We're a family. We want to be a family-oriented place. But definitely check us out on our platforms. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. YouTube.
Our favorite one.
But yeah, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you next time on the WorshipCast.